So in 1999, when we started, I was 19, and we had come up with this idea. My dad had said, yes, we were going to sell your products at our stores. I had the business plan in hand. Now I needed money to create these products and start this business. And so we went along with what I had in our bank account, the dustings he had, and I sold the vehicle that my parents had gifted to me at the age of 16 when I was able to drive. And so that's what we were going to start with, $10,000. Not a lot of money, but enough to get us off the ground. And so I needed now, for these products that I had decided, Irish cream, tequila, vodka, rum, a Canadian whiskey, I needed a co-packer. And so I called all the distilleries, emailed, sent real snail mail letters to all of the distilleries in Canada. Nobody returned any of my correspondence, never mind gave me a quote. I physically showed up at a couple of them in BC and Alberta. They all laughed me off and said, no way. I discovered that there was a distillers conference happening, and it was the largest of its kind in Texas. And I was gonna go down by myself, and that's what I did. I went to Texas, and on the 2 very long flights down to Texas, I came up with a plan. I wasn't gonna know anybody in the room. So I thought to myself, every session, every speaker, everything that was happening, every meal, every break, I would switch tables and give my pitch as to who I was, what I was looking for, and where I was from to as many people as I could. So I gave my pitch about 25 times the first day. I met a lot of interesting people. I met a lot of people that said okay and walked away. Nobody that took the bait, but also nobody that I feel I connected with. The second morning after breakfast, I moved tables and I sat, and I started talking to the guy beside me. His name was Max. And other than the name and the distillery that he was from, I really didn't know any other information. And I instantly, though, had a sixth sense that this is somebody special in the room, because everybody walking by was shaking his hand, putting a card down. He was just getting that extra attention than a lot of the other delegates at the conference. So I put my stuff down and I sat there, and I thought, well, I have to find out who this guy is. And went to a payphone, because my phone also didn't have long distance, and I called my brother on his phone, and he was at university, and I said, get out of your class, run to the computer lab. Entrepreneurs have it so much easier now. Run to the computer lab and find out who this company and who this guy is. And he says, oh, Manjit, you have hit the jackpot if you can close the deal. And I said, what do you mean? He said, Max owns the largest owned family-run distillery in Kentucky. He produces all the products that we are looking for. But he goes, the kicker is that he already sells a lot of products in Canada. So he knows how to navigate NAFTA, winter shipping, which is a big problem coming up to Canada, the regulations with Canadian government and taxes. His team knows how to do it all. And I thought, oh, wow, okay, great, thank you. So I run back to the table and sat there for the next session, and I decided I needed to get another 15 minutes with Max to give my pitch again, a little bit longer, but also ask for the big ask at the end of the pitch. And so I followed him around the rest of the entire day of the conference. I did not get 15 minutes, I didn't even get 2 minutes with him. At the end of the day, at about 5 o'clock when the last session was finishing, he comes up to me and he says, I've noticed you following me around. Are you stalking me? And I said, I'm not stalking you. However, thank you for noticing that I was following you around. He said, well, you kind of stick out in this audience. And I said, oh, he says, yeah, you're pretty young. And yeah, okay, but what do you need? And I said, well, I need 15 minutes with you. I have a pitch for you. I don't know if you remembered, but this morning over breakfast, I gave you my pitch. He said, no, I don't remember. I said, I figured, but can I get 15 minutes can I take you for a drink today? He goes, well, I have a dinner meeting, but I'll give you 15 minutes just before my dinner meeting. Meet me at this restaurant, he said. And I said, okay, sounds good. So the next hour, I got my 15-minute spiel together. So I went to dinner. 15 minutes he gave me, I did not breathe. I talked through it all. And at the end of the 15 minutes, I said, can you be my supplier? And he said, yes. And I said, oh. I was shocked, and he said, yes. And I said, oh, okay, great. But then I'm getting my jacket, and I think, what the heck? How am I going to pay him? In the liquor industry, nobody trusts anybody. It's all prepaid, okay? Everything is prepaid. There's no such thing as COD. And so I thought, I spent $5,000 to be here. I only have $5,000 left in the bank. I can't even get the labels for that much, never mind the product, shipping the product, the cases, like the whole nine. And so he then says, I think, oh my goodness. So I run back to the table and I say, Max, I have one favor to ask of you. And he says, okay. And he says, what is it? And I said, can you please, I say to him, produce the product, ship the product to me, and then me sell the product, and then I pay you? And he says, oh. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I only have $5,000 left in the bank. And he says, what? There's another zero on that, right? Or 2 zeros? And I said, no, but I said, I promise you will get paid because I know I will get paid because my customer is my dad. And I live with my dad. He can't skirt paying me. And he said, oh, okay, that makes sense. He says, okay. And I am on cloud nine. I get into the car. I'm dialing my brother's number in the car. And I think, oh, how is anybody going to even believe you? Like, great, I'll tell my brother in my accounting department that I hopefully will get eventually in his accounting department that this is the payment terms, but as if he's going to remember this, not only Max, but yeah, right. So I run back to the table again. This time his dinner meeting is coming, and I stop the 3 gentlemen in their tracks and say, just give me 5 seconds. He stands up this time, Max, and says, Manjit, there's nothing left to give you other than the shirt on my back, and you're not getting that. And I said, no, I really need nothing else from you. You know what you just said to me like 3 minutes ago? Would you mind writing those terms down? And he says, yeah, sure. And he says, give me a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, and I grab a napkin from the table. He says, really? And I said, oh, sorry, I don't have paper. So he writes down those payment terms, signs it, and dates it. To this day, that napkin is framed and in my office because it was the start of our company. And so I deal with Max to this day, 19 years later. I just pay him earlier, and he became my mentor. So in closing today, I have one final thought on success, and that is there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. Thank you.